Hello, I'm Beth the Builder, and I had lots of opinions about painting tips and tricks that this is part 2. So when I first moved into my house, for some reason, I was very worried about lead paint. Because, I don't know, I didn't know anything about it. It seemed worrisome. The main reason that lead paint is dangerous is because of children. Because flakes of lead paint are sweet. So kids end up eating it because it tastes sweet. So even if your home was built before 1978, it's not like a guarantee that lead paint is going to be like a huge problem in your house. The things you want to look for are deteriorating paint. So is it cracking? Is it flaking? Is there a lot of dust buildup? Because that's when lead paint is dangerous. It's not that it's there, it's when it starts to come off. So even if there's a wall or something in your home that is painted in lead paint, until you start disturbing that surface, it's not a problem. If it's flaking and chipping and stuff like that, that is a problem, and you do want to get it tested, especially if you have children. So really it's just about being aware and doing some research, knowing when your house was built, knowing if it is lead paint, because really the only way to know if it's lead paint is to get it tested. Okay, so paint finishes. Why are there so many finishes? I found it very annoying when I was really trying to figure out what the best paint was, how many options there are. There's base A and base B and base C, and then there's tintable paint, and then there's finishes, and there's flat and matte and eggshell and satin and gloss and semi-gloss and high gloss, and you're what the. And I don't believe that people at Lowe's and Home Depot and shit like that really know the answers to these questions that you have about yeah, but which one is actually better? And they're well, you mean that one? That one's more expensive, so it must be better. I don't know. I just feel like they're dummies about it, and they're not actually that helpful. So I've done some research. I think I've painted most things in satin or semi-gloss. I kind of feel like matte and flat and eggshell are useless. They're stupid finishes that are just not for anyone. You know, you paint something an eggshell finish and you try and wipe that off and the paint just comes off. I'm just not impressed with the lower finishes. There's a reason why you may not want a super shiny finish in a room, and that's where I feel like satin is the perfect in-between. It's right there in the middle. Use that. Eggshell, matte, flat, that just fucking ignore it, okay? It doesn't even exist to you because it's useless. That's my opinion. But I'm gonna go through all the finishes, and then we'll do a little test, kind of showcase what they look like and what they're doing best and what they're doing worst. And then we'll see if I'm right about how garbage flat and eggshell are. Okay, so the first finish is matte or flat, and it is the lowest sheen, lowest durability. It's hard to clean. It's usually used for ceilings. It does camouflage any imperfections in walls or ceilings or whatnot pretty well. So that's the thing I've read about these lower finishes, is that they do actually hide imperfections better than the glossy finishes. So, scratch test. Okay, I'm gonna whack this within my screwdriver and see. Not terrible. Still not impressed. So, eggshell is the next finish. It is also a very low sheen, low durability. It's not very easy to clean. It has some camouflage, and it's typically used for living rooms, dining rooms, etc. So, let's see. Oh no, not great. Wow, what a bummer. Ah! Paint is totally coming off of that. Screw you, eggshell. Satin. Satin, I think, is a really great middle of the road for all of these things. It has a medium sheen, medium to high durability. It is pretty easy to clean. It's got all of these things. If you're not sure what paint finish to buy satin. I'm gonna whack it. Not terrible. See, I think this is an interesting thing. As it gets shinier, that it actually shows imperfections more. So on these where I hit it, you almost can't see where I did, and then as it gets shinier, it actually highlights that little dimple there. All right, so even that, some came off. Not as easy to clean. Okay, so gloss is next. So gloss is not typically something that you're going to use in a big space, but I had it, so I did still want to showcase what it looks like and what it does well. I think it's a typical finish for spray paint. But now spray paint also comes in like matte and stuff like that, like this. And that's what I had to use as our example for a flat paint finish, because I just don't have any flat paint because I don't buy it because it's useless. So again, it's kind of in the middle of the road of these things of medium sheen, medium durability. And then as we're getting glossier, obviously you'll be able to see the imperfections as I scratch it and stuff like that in the glossy finish. So you can see it's slightly more shiny than the satin. But you can see it holds up a whole hell of a lot better. Even to that, like, yeah, you can see it, but, and then we'll try scrubbing it. All right, very little comes off of that. So spray paint is pretty cool. I really like what spray paint does well, but I hate the aerosol-ness of it. I think that is a huge bummer. Okay, semi-gloss. Semi-gloss is the way to go. So it's shiny, it's durable, it's easy to clean. It doesn't camouflage a ton of imperfections, but who even friggin' cares, okay? Because it's awesome. Look at that friggin' shit. You can barely even see those. All right, so just a little bit on that pink. I mean, obviously the pink is really easy to see on a towel or whatever. And last, high gloss. So I've never used high gloss paint actually. I got this for free somewhere, and then I was looking through my paint and I didn't even realize I had it. So I figured we would test it and kind of show it against all the other ones. So both semi-gloss and high gloss are really good for kitchens, for trim, for really, really high traffic areas. Places that are needing to be wiped down fairly consistently. But high gloss is obviously right there in the name. It's super, super shiny. It's the most durable. Obviously these two things are gonna have less of a camouflage of imperfections than the lower finishes. Like you can barely even see that. Same with those. Like, even though obviously you can see that like it is being highlighted a little bit, it's worth it for it being so durable, for being so easily cleaned and scrubbed and everything. Yeah. Alrighty. I hope you learned something. This will not be the end of my painting chronicles, because I think I have a lot more opinions about painting hacks and other dumb things. Check out all the links I have in the description of where you can follow me. Like, dislike, subscribe, or don't. I have new videos every Friday, and thanks for watching.